I'm giving you all the secrets today on how to create a viral idea pin. I'm Emily Vales. I'm a Pinterest marketing and ad strategist, and for the past 4 years, I've helped my clients and my students increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. So before we dive into creating that viral idea pin, the first thing I want to explain in more depth is what is an idea pin. So on Pinterest, when you are creating and you're marketing your business, or maybe you are a Pinterest manager and you're marketing for one of your clients, there are 3 common pin formats that you're most likely going to be creating. We have our standard pins, our video pins, and our idea pins. So standard pins are the pins that when you go to the platform, it's a static image. We are all very used to those pins, accustomed to interacting with them, because that was really the original pin format on Pinterest. Then we have our video pins, where you can watch a video and when you click on it, it pauses the video. However, you can go to somebody's website still from that video pin. We're also used to seeing a little bit of shorter videos, and a lot of times it'll give us a little bit of a teaser, but what we want to do then is get more information about whatever's shared in that video. And then that third pin format is our idea pins. And idea pins are the newest pin format, and they actually originally were called story pins. And Pinterest did change the name of them, and I think that it was a really great switch because it really gave Pinterest creators a better idea of what they should be doing with those pins. And that's really inspiring people and giving them ideas that they can then go and take action on. So idea pins are very, very different because what they are is essentially a multi-page pin format where you can share either videos or images, static images, or a combination of both. However, here's the catch. When they were first rolled out, and for the past couple of years, we've not been able to drive traffic with them directly, meaning that you can't add a direct link. Now, there are a couple of workarounds where you can tag a product, which when people click on that tagged product, they can then go and see the product. However, it's not the same because you can't just easily direct traffic to a blog or a lead magnet or a masterclass. It's different. However, at the end of 2022, Pinterest did announce that they would be finally giving Pinterest creators what they've been wanting, and that is the ability to link idea pins. I do think that over the coming months or maybe even years, we're gonna see a shift where it'll be interesting to see what happens with video pins, because once everybody has the ability to link idea pins, I think that we are going to kind of see video pins kind of fizzle out because they'll really be serving a very similar purpose. However, we're not really seeing a very easy process just yet for linking idea pins, and I think it's because Pinterest is in the early stages of really still rolling out that feature. Now, I do have another video on how to create idea pins and really being able to link them, and right now there's kind of a weird workaround, so be sure to check out that other YouTube video if you want to learn more about actually adding that link to your idea pins, because some people think that they don't have that ability yet, and they do. So the process of going through that is a little bit different, and what I've been saying is a little bit wonky. But now that we kind of understand what idea pins are, they're that multi-page pin format, I want you to understand the purpose of them, like I said, is to give ideas and to inspire your audience, but you're really sharing a fully conceptualized idea. So when people watch your idea pin, they feel like, okay, now I can go and take action on this. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to talk about the key things that you need to be including when you are creating an idea pin, and that is what is going to really help you go viral. So I had a pin in 2022 that for me went viral. Now I say that in quotation marks because I consider virality relative. So what is viral for my account might not be viral for your account and vice versa. So I think it's really important to establish that up front. How I created my first viral idea pin. So what happened in 2022, Pinterest rolled out this amazing program called the Pinterest Creator Rewards Program. And through that program, they were essentially paying Pinterest creators to create idea pins. However, they had to meet certain requirements, and one of those requirements was hitting a certain amount of saves, for example. So if you received 100 saves on an idea pin, then they would pay you X amount of money. So not everybody got access to the Pinterest Creator Rewards program, and there wasn't necessarily always a rhyme or a reason for who got access and who didn't, which honestly kind of led to some frustration because they did have certain boxes that they wanted you to check off in order to really be eligible for the program. But I would always get messages saying, I'm meeting these requirements, why am I not getting access? And I didn't always know. I wish I had all of the Pinterest secrets, but I didn't. All I knew was that this was really a beta program and Pinterest was really testing it out. So there were no promises as far as the duration of the program, how many people were gonna get access. And so if you were one of the lucky ones, then you got that ability to try and monetize those idea pins. So I was one of the lucky ones, and in the summer of 2022, when I had that feature roll out to my account, I started taking note on a few different things. And one of the first things being was that all of the goals that Pinterest had set for Pinterest creators, and those goals were what you had to achieve in order to make money, they all were based on saves. So what this told me was that saves is a really, really valuable metric. And historically, I had always really paid the most attention to outbound clicks from my clients' pins because obviously Pinterest is a traffic driver. And so my clients are paying me to market their services, their courses, whatever it may be on Pinterest, and they want me to drive traffic, like I said, for them via Pinterest. However, what I really learned through the Pinterest Creator Rewards program is really how important saves are in the eyes of Pinterest and the algorithm. So I started paying attention to that, and I honestly was trying to hit these goals so I can make money, right? And I started creating one idea pin a day. And even though we do not have access to the Pinterest Creator Rewards program any longer, I feel really thankful for that opportunity because it really pushed me to expand and push myself in a way I never had on Pinterest. So I just showed up differently. I started creating an idea pin every single day. And if you've ever created an idea pin, they do take a little time to really optimize them and make sure that you are sharing really great high quality content. And I wasn't just using static images, I was sharing a lot of video content. And video content does take time to create, but it pushed me and it really taught me what was working, what was resonating for my audience, and what I needed to lean into. So I started showing up consistently, and I really started focusing on creating savable content. Now I'm gonna repeat that because I think that that is something that people have overlooked in the past. They're just trying to get people to their website and tease them, but you wanna think about how can I create content for Pinterest that is going to make my ideal audience feel like, ooh, this is so good, I have to save this for later. Because honestly, that is going to be crucial for really seeing success and growth on Pinterest. So you really want to think about how you can serve your audience. Now, I know I've been teasing this, so I want to jump into really that structure for what I was following for my most viral idea pins. So I know I touched on this a little bit previously, but I did mention virality can really be relative. And for me, one of my first viral idea pins had over 100,000 impressions. I had over 1,000 saves. It got me over, I think, like 350 followers. So for me, those were some pretty impressive stats, especially seeing how last summer, I believe I had 600 followers on Pinterest. And now where we stand in this spring of 2023, I have 4.6 thousand. So you can see how once I started creating an idea pin a day, I was really following a structure. I did not push aside totally standard pins and video pins. I also created those types of pins as well, but I really leaned into serving my audience, creating savable content, and this structure. So this structure is what worked for me, and where I have followed that, I have seen some of my best performing idea pins. So the first thing that I did with these idea pins was I really had a strong call to action, something that was really catching my audience's attention, where they felt like they needed to see through that idea pin. So one of my most viral idea pins was I was sharing how I made $500 from one idea pin on Pinterest. And that was completely truthful. It took me about 15 minutes to create the idea pin. And this was when I still had access to the Pinterest Creator Rewards, which unfortunately I can no longer do that because the rewards program was discontinued in December. But when I published that pin, it was very much so still relevant. And so that was a strong hook. People are like, what? You made $500 from one idea pin? And so I had a really strong hook. So step one, you need to think about how can you hook in your ideal audience and get them to listen to that full idea pin. The next thing I did was I included a call to action that I knew was going to really help me gain traction with that pin. So I would tell people, whether I said it in the video or I added it in the text overlay of the idea pin, I said, save this pin for later, or you'll want to save this pin for later. I always included saving it because I knew, honestly, that's how I was going to hit those goals for the Pinterest Creator Rewards. But not only was it smart for me as far as monetizing and hitting those goals, but then that really started telling Pinterest, when people were saving my content in the eyes of the algorithm, it was telling Pinterest that, hey, this person is creating really great high quality content that people are saving and that they value. So then I started seeing Pinterest push out more of my standard pins as well. So it really just helped my account overall. So step one, really strong hook. Step two, making sure that you're sharing that call to action. I shared it at the beginning and the end. So when I say call to action, I think people always associate that with the end of your content, the end of your video, the end of your blog post, but you can really sprinkle it throughout. Keep reminding people what you want them to do. So step one, strong hook. Step two, a call to action. And then the next couple of steps, I want you to really educate. So this is really the structure I was following. I made a point and then I inspired. I made a second point and then I inspired. I made a third point and then I inspired. So a lot of my videos were structured as how-tos, and once I gave them the hook of what I was going to be teaching them, I gave a call to action, then I was really making 3 points. And after each point that was made, I gave a tangible explanation, or I shared an example of how I had done that myself. And I think that really helped people think about what that would look like for their business. And it wasn't something that was in theory, but what had worked for me. So all of my content has to do with Pinterest marketing because that's what I do. And so I really helped people, like I said, through visualizing. I would give pictures that were included in the text overlay. You could add like stickers, and through stickers, you can actually put up a picture. So sometimes, especially one thing that people have always really resonated with is how to get started on Pinterest. So I would even show like, okay, you got to optimize your profile name. And then I would actually share how I optimize my profile name on Pinterest. So like I said, it just makes it really tangible for them and feel like, okay, I know what she's talking about. This isn't something in theory. This is what she did. This is how I'm going to go take action. So kind of doing a recap here, we had a really strong hook. Then we have a call to action. We are educating. So point, inspire, point two, inspire, point three, inspire. And obviously you can play around with that concept in the middle there where you're educating, but that's just kind of a rough outline that you can follow. And then at the end, you want to make sure that once again, you're kind of wrapping up your content and telling them again what you want them to do. So I would always tell people, be sure to save this pin and follow me if you want daily Pinterest marketing tips and advice. And especially when I was sharing that really great content, of course they're gonna follow you if you're sharing amazing ideas and inspiration because they want more of it. So that structure has worked for me. Like I said, my most viral idea pins have followed that. They've shared really high quality content where I'm educating, inspiring. I'm not doing a lot of funny stuff, voiceovers, things like that. But I know that my ideal audience, that's what is resonating with them. And through that consistency of creating an idea pin every day, showing up through short form video, that builds also the like trust, and really getting to know my audience. So I would love for you to try out this structure, and I would love to know if you have created a viral idea pin. And what I want you to do now, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please, if this was helpful, be sure to like this video. It is so incredibly helpful to me in growing this channel so that I can show up and serve you weekly. So like I said, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and let me know in the comments what questions you have and how I can help you with creating your next viral idea pin. I can't wait to see you next week. Bye for now.